up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid hot.
Fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off this day with Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, cleanly shaven.
Yes.
Riley Green jersey on, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower. What up, though, brother?
Hey, Tigers got right last night.
Oh, did they ever?
And we're definitely going to talk about that. But, man, the NBA draft lottery, though.
Oh, okay. Where's the script at?
We got some, like, NBA stuff to get into in the first segment because we just can't not talk about it. We can't.
Man, you know what? Tell the people what else is on the docket, because you're right. There's some stuff we have to jump right into.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to talk about the Tigers. We're going to talk about how the Bats got right, how they're still a really good offense, even though we're over 40 games in. They had a little bit of a schneid against Texas, but they certainly got right, and they're still a really good offense. A ton of people are stepping up. We're going to talk about a certain Detroit Lion who is really projected to have a breakout next year, and I wonder if you guys can guess who it is. It's a certain website called Pro Football Focus, or as I like to say it sometimes, Pro Football Flannel, that predicted this. And you guys might be surprised who it is. And you know what? I think that'll carry us through the show.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Flannel is going to love this.
Yes.
He's going to love this. And I can't wait for that discussion, because I can't wait. It's one of the keys for me as it relates to the Lions, being able to maintain not just a Super Bowl window, but being able to punch home this ticket, man. It's time to get this thing done.
This guy will probably play a big factor. I'll just say that.
Hey, you know what? Despite the woes of year one, not a lot of good. I think people know what we talk about. Definitely take your guesses in the chat. But goodness gracious, the NBA draft lottery. Can you imagine that? We're starting over our rebuild. We're trading our franchise cornerstone, one of the best top 5 players in the league, and we're just gonna take a chance on this draft lottery.
This is
crazy.
I am not the type of person who's just quick to be like, it's a conspiracy, it's fixed. But my goodness, the Dallas Mavericks win the NBA draft lottery with like a 1.8% chance. And it just happens to be the year where they make what is commonly referred to as one of the worst trades in NBA history. And you see that Dallas Mavericks fans are absolutely reeling from it. And right after the trade was made, that of course was the Luka Doncic to Los Angeles trade, you saw AD go down, one of the returns for it immediately. You saw Kyrie Irving tear his ACL. The Mavericks as a franchise were just decimated and cursed this year.
Do you think they paid their penance?
But I will say this. Nico Harrison may have been right all along. I know that's a little bit aggressive right now, but I'll tell you what. I know there might be some skeptics. I think Cooper Flagg is absolutely generational. When you look at NBA draft prospects of this century, in my opinion, he's gonna be not in the same boat as like LeBron, because he's separate from everybody else. But there's LeBron, there's AD, there's Zion, there's Victor Wembanyama. If I'm missing anyone, I apologize. And then there's Cooper Flagg. I think he's right there with damn near all of them. I really do.
That's high praise. I think that he's gonna be a good player. I don't quite have him at that tier. But I do believe he's going to be one of those difference makers and impact type players, because you see what he does across the board. He's going to be one of those players at the end of the night you're going to see a stat line that's just completely filling the stat sheet. But Dallas, to be able to come away with this type of improbable first, especially as a Detroit Pistons fan, grateful that we got Cade Cunningham. It was a little bit of a turbulence at the start there, but things mellowed out. Shout out Mellow Yellow. But for the Dallas Mavericks to be able to take this chance, roll the dice like this, part of me wishes that this didn't happen for them, because I just wanted to see what the actual plan was. If you're Nico, and I get there's a lot of fans out there right now that are probably like, oh, okay, well, let's see where this thing goes. If you're Nico, you're waking up this morning literally feeling like you hit the lottery, because if this thing doesn't work out, I just don't know what Dallas had to their name. Because if I'm a free agent, if I'm a perspiring star, if I'm a rising star, if I'm somebody looking for that next contract, if you do this to Luka, why am I looking at your situation, this new ownership group, new management style, weird philosophies apparently, with just, hey Luka, bye-bye, and we're going to undercut ourselves in the return for you as well? I wouldn't go there if I was another star in the league. This saved them in ways that I'm hoping Dallas Mavericks fans don't fall for the okie doke. Shout out to our bro Mike Curtis. He was formerly of the Detroit News, Pistons beat writer, and now he's out at the Dallas Morning News, kind of right in the middle of all the action, man. We're going to have to get his reaction on this at some point.
That would be very interesting. And WeezyD313, and I appreciate you in the chat because you're kind of the perpetual devil's advocate. And that's okay, by the way, because I really do think that you believe all that you say. Wasn't a bad trade, and I stand on it. Now I look smart. I will say this, and this is where I have to admit that as somebody who was cheering for the Lakers in the West, I'll admit it, JB's cheering for the Warriors in the West. I was cheering for the Lakers in the West. Unfortunately for me, they went down in round one. Luka definitely gave a little bit of merit as to why Dallas was done with him. And the fact that they actually are going to be able to get Cooper Flagg out of it, I'm not saying that they're going to come out on top in the end, but I'm not saying it's impossible. But people do have to remember, though, before Mavericks fans are ready to book their parade, I doubt Kyrie plays this year. Kyrie tore his ACL on March 3rd, and we've seen recently with guys like Jamal Murray and even way back in the day, Derrick Rose, ACL injuries on like basketball players, particularly guards. That's a long recovery process, and we know Kyrie has had a myriad of injuries throughout his career, so we never even know if he's going to be the same. But I'll tell you what, Flagg and AD next year, I'm going to be watching. You bet your ass I'm going to be watching.
You're definitely going to be watching next year, and like I said, totally improbable.
Yeah.
But with Luka, I remember there was conversation that we had prior, and for me, it was really, really tough to put him into certain rarefied air in some of the conversations we were having, despite what the talent suggested, so despite what the trends suggested. And so to see Dallas actually say, you know what, we're not going to put him in that rarefied air, that was very, very interesting, especially when you combine it with what you just stated, what the playoff results were. You would expect, especially with LeBron kind of on the way down, you still have a pretty good LeBron James on your team. We know that he got injured, but you would expect Luka Doncic to be able to go and elevate this team and utilize what was already around him and some pretty good role players and be able to make some noise. But I don't know. I do believe that this is going to be a wake-up call when you're talking about the other end of this thing for Luka, and he's going to have to put in work that he hasn't put in before. Yes, you can have that talent. Yes, your skill has carried you this far. But now he's at that point in his career where if he's going to have anything else from here, I believe it's going to start literally in the gym, literally in the weight room, and giving himself an opportunity to be able to compete defensively and offensively. I'm not calling for Luka to be a defensive stalwart, but you cannot be a pylon out there.
Sure, and he was clearly a liability defensively in the playoffs, and he seemed to wear down a bit as games went on. We all know that. That's one of the reasons why the Mavericks felt that he was expendable. And like I said, whether they're right or wrong, I still think that they probably won't come out on top in the end, but they got the gift from the basketball gods. And I'll tell you what, they're not the first. And that's why as this continues to happen, as like, you know, teams like the Spurs get Wemby, and then obviously we all know it started with the Knicks getting Patrick Ewing and Derrick Rose going to the Bulls from Chicago when they had like a 1.8% chance to win it. And of course, Cleveland winning 3 draft lotteries in the 2010s. Something rotten in Denmark.
But you know what, man, it did stoke a lot of memories for me, because the year that, you know, we got the #1 draft pick to be able to draft our guard, who's now going to be $40 million player next year, $40 million player, Cade Cunningham. It wasn't the most probable opportunity for us. So I'm grateful that we at least got that one, seeing how all of the other draft lotteries went for us 5-5-5 after that.
They did win one.
It changed the trajectory of this franchise. That's where, I was just thinking about it. I saw we posted a video all on socials, and it really stoked a lot of nostalgia for people that over the past few years, when we did the same thing as the Pistons were mired in some of their worst basketball in franchise history, people was like, get this out of here. We don't want to see it. But after we saw Cade Cunningham do that, help elevate this team to 44 wins, 6th seed, and now you're looking at how the East is shaping up. This thing is really looking to be shaping up in the Pistons' favor next season. And a large part of that has to do with Cade Cunningham, how attractive this franchise looks now because of what they're doing in the front office and the coaching. This is what I love, is that we're not sitting around waiting on the lottery anymore. That's what I absolutely love. We don't even have a first-round draft pick, and nobody's sweating it right now. We're in different territory, just like the Lions. We didn't care about really mock drafts. We kind of stumbled into the draft season like, oh, get your mock drafts in. And even y'all were like, oh, okay. And even with the Pistons, people were like, oh, we lost our first-round pick? What did we do with it? What did we get for it? Oh, Jalen Duren? Oh. Okay, we get one next year. We got the cap space. We got a squad that's now stepped up. And so for me, that's what I was celebrating, man. I had a little bit of Martinelli's apple cider, man, sparkling apple cider last night, and just toasted like, man, shout out to the Pistons for being to this point where we don't matter at the draft lottery at all. At all. I was like, it was a reflex. I looked at it like, where are we at? Oh, that's right. So shout out to the Pistons, man, for being where they are, and Cade Cunningham for being that number 1 draft pick for us. That did help to change the trajectory of this franchise.
Absolutely. And honestly, the only reason that I think a lot of us even care that it happened last night was because I think people would have cared if it was either Dallas or San Antonio or somebody that got Cooper flagged, maybe Philly as well. Teams that you think he legitimately could go on and they could actually be playoff teams or contenders in the next few years and even next year. And that's exactly what happened.
I think this helps the Pistons that Utah didn't get it.
Hey.
They need assets that the Pistons don't quite necessarily need right now. If Utah is going to Danny Ainge this thing, I think Pistons got a couple first-round draft picks over the next few years to be able to say, hey, you know what? Here you go, Danny Ainge. What you got for us? I think you got a stretch for.
Hey, and Dante, Lori Marketing. Yes, Dante151, thank you for the 1999 super chat. Man, I was so close on predicting that the Spurs would get the number 1 pick. Plus, Easy almost crashed out on X last night. Low-key, I would have laughed my butt off if that happened last night, but who cares about the draft, LOL. Oh, did you say something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, wow. I must be hearing things. But, no, but I'm excited to watch the Mavericks. Obviously, I'm a big Anthony Davis fan, as everybody knows, to everybody's chagrin. So I would like to see him succeed there. And I think that they're a team that could be a playoff team next year because they're not just getting AD back healthy. And we know that that's always going to be a question mark with him. Derek Lively missed more than half the season. Daniel Gafford missed 25 games. P.J. Washington missed 25 games. As I said earlier, the Mavericks were just cursed by injuries last year. And it's funny how a team that it was they weren't even really tanking. They just could not win with what was going on with their injuries and whatnot. And they got rewarded for it. They did.
Gracious, man.
They did.
You know what? Shout out to Dallas. I'm not even gonna hate.
Yeah.
I'm happy for their fans because you talk about passionate fans. You just want to see those guys rewarded for it. But the NBA Finals or the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Prayers up, man, for Jason Tatum.
Absolutely.
Just first and foremost, you don't want to see, especially one of the guys that you look at as the faces and the representatives of the league go down, champion. And I know we have our discourse and our conversation about him. Don't want to see that happen.
Absolutely not. It's feared to be one of the bad ones. Achilles, obviously, non-contact. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that such a normal basketball activity, and he's probably not gonna be able to play all of next year. It's unfortunate whether you like him or not. He's one of the 10 best players in the NBA, a perpetual All-NBA guy, was a champion last year. Is going to go down as a Hall of Famer, and I think one of the best Celtics ever. Not over Larry Bird and Bill Russell before people just jump.
Dysfunctional teams. That's what allowed the Pistons to creep up in addition to the things they did to bolster their own foundation. And now you talk about it being a nut punch for all of us. What do you think they feel like?
Yeah.
They have to be sitting back right now believing that they've blown a great opportunity to reach some lofty goals that they set for themselves this year. These are the things that I know are going to spur them. Cade's been angry. And what did we see? He got a full year to really play. We got him a shooter. A shooter, and I guess the rest of them will consider like a half or whole to get combined. And this guy reached all-star level, all-NBA, 6th seed in the playoffs. And now you're talking about making them angry. Now you're talking about these guys understanding what playoff basketball is and the experience they need. The Knicks, they're one of those squads, and we understand this. It's not just the playoff flumps, but it's learning. The Knicks and Coach Tibbs, they taught them. And in prior years, when Tibbs would come here and absolutely boat race these young Pistons and not care about the draft picks that we had here, they weren't in position to learn because they didn't have the necessary. I don't believe that they didn't have the coaching, and they didn't have the experience yet. Now they're at a point in time where all of that is converged right now, and you needed it too because Cade Cunningham is about to start getting paid.
Yes, he is.
$40 million, man.
Yes, he is. And one thing that I want to do, too, before we move on to the Tigers and more happy things, what if the Knicks go to the finals? It's not crazy. And one person that I think we all need to shout out, even though a lot of us still hate him. I never did, for the record, as much as most, but a lot of Knicks fans think that he's the devil. Jalen Brunson is the man. Jalen Brunson has continued to be a fantastic playoff performer. He had another 39 last night. And also shout out Karl Anthony Towns. He's another one that a lot of people here had doubt upon. I was not one of them. I was unhappy to be right in the Pistons series, but Karl Anthony Towns is answering for some playoff allegations. He still has to answer for some conference finals allegations, but that's another story for another day. But Jalen Brunson, I'll tell you what, he's already a better Knick all-time than Carmelo Anthony, and I don't think that's a hot take at all. And if he leads the Knicks to a finals and he wins a finals MVP, he's a better Knick all-time than Patrick Ewing. I don't even give a damn.
Sheesh.
I don't even give a damn.
And I believe it's this. There was less fanfare about Jalen Brunson. The way he's had to go out there and get his, he's still pushing against narratives. Even on the national stage, there were some people who did believe the Pistons had a chance. Obviously, we believe they had a chance because of how the regular season went. But Jalen Brunson proved all year that he's a tough player. And even through the playoff series, we continue to caution, like, yes, the foul baiting is trash. Get it out of here. He's taking advantage of what the NBA is going to allow. And that's something that Cade Cunningham is going to have to get better with if he's going to want to be able to get to that free throw line more and especially utilize that to his advantage in the fourth quarters. Just like Jalen Brunson, your 2025 Kia NBA Clutch Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing. And I see JB Smooth Kitty Cat still soft.
Well,
soft for the SAW.
But we all know that JB can be presented with evidence in his face and just won't change his opinion. And that's fine. That's fine.
But Brunson is tough, and that was what we
Chill
were
on
talking
my
about.
boy
Like,
JB.
in those fourth quarters, he was hitting some of the most tough ISO shots, and he was able to do that without some of the whistles going his way.
Yeah.
That, to me, was one of the differences. How he performed in the clutch moments, and us as Pistons fans, there were some games where it was like, okay, the free throws, come on, man. But there were other games, especially as the series went on, and the whistles really started to get a little bit more swallowed in those clutch moments. He was just hitting tough bucket after tough bucket. Yeah. And that's the lasting memory. I'm like I said, I saw somebody in the chat, I don't know who it was, but they said that they hope that the Detroit Pistons take this energy and use it all offseason in the gym to get better. Yeah. And then I saw another, I don't know if it was Weezy, I believe, who said, yo, the East is realistically wide open.
It is wide open.
He said, oh, it's on and popping next year. He says, no Tatum and the fraudulent Cavs, we guarantee the top 3 seed. Man, let the Pistons just get a little bit more talent because I believe that J.B. Bickerstaff knows the identity of those Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think he knows that it's just as soft as we believed it was. When he got here, and I got to hear him talking, and I saw he changed his Pistons team early in training camp, being there and seeing this stuff and talking to these guys early. Bro, media day. He was barely here, and they said, oh, now we understand the NBA a much better. Now we understand this. I'm like, wait, y'all been in the league for 2-3 years. What? Yeah, he made it so clear and easy to understand. That's when I realized, there's something else going on in Cleveland. I've continued to say this since before we could actually put it out there, then the reports came out. We talked about it behind the scenes. There's one star over there, man, who I think thinks a little bit too much about himself than the people he probably should have submitted to. And honestly, J.B. Bickerstaff, in my opinion, if Donovan Mitchell would have listened to him, would have helped him.
Hey, it's certainly the Cavaliers. Certainly, I'll just say this: they looked like they were right early on because Kenny Atkinson and the team had a phenomenal regular season. Nobody's going to deny that. Nobody's going to try to deny that. But if they lose in the second round, and it's looking very likely that they will. They're down 3-1. A lot of us Pistons fans who think that it's absolute highway robbery that Kenny Atkinson won Coach of the Year are going to be popping bottles. I'll just say that. And I'm not usually one to glaze and root for the Pacers, but in this series, yes, I am.
This is you know what? This is turning into what you said yesterday. Like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Absolutely.
Like all over
absolutely.
this Eastern Conference.
I find myself being like, Tyrese. and for the record, I don't even hate Tyrese Halliburton like that. But
I do, but I be dancing
right,
around
yeah,
my
right.
too. Like, what up? Like, I'm Tyrese too. Like, get them out of here, dog. Get them out of here. Woo! Get them out of here.
And,
many different implications.
Yes. And Dante151 in the chat. You're on fire today. Flannel, if the Knicks make the finals and win it, every single Dallas Mavericks fan would have a heart attack because of how the Mavs let him go in free agency because of the front office. I will say this, and this is where I'll defend the Mavericks at the time, even though it looks bad now. Nobody expected Jalen Brunson to be what he's been in New York, which is arguably right now, he's the best point guard in the NBA right now. It depends on how you want to classify Ant and SGA, but in terms of point guard, I would probably put Jalen Brunson number one right now. Nobody really foresaw that. Nobody really saw him being what he's become, which is a playoff elevator. So in hindsight, it looks absolutely terrible, though, because Jalen Brunson is balling, and the Knicks might take advantage of a wide-open East.
And I see you there, Kiazi said Kool-Aid. That was me who said that about the offseason comments. And Dante151 with another $9.99 super chat. Thank you guys for getting those super chats in. He says, Flannel, if the Knicks make it to the finals and win it, every single Dallas Mavericks fan would have a heart attack because of how the Mavs let him go in free agency because the front office.
Thank you, Kool-Aid.
So nice, Dante had to send it twice.
What'd you say?
I'm just playing around.
I read that about 30 seconds before you did. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
I was just trying to make sure. Yeah, you know what? With Dante151, you got a double deal.
Absolutely. Hey, shout out. If we ever missed one before, we got you.
Got you, bro.
But I think it's time to move on to the Tigers. Although the people were fired up about it, because I know that the lottery is something, the draft lottery and the Knicks are things that have been really close to the Pistons' heart as of late, but not so much in the good way, except for Cade Cunningham. And the fact that the Knicks are winning and the lottery rewarded a team with less than a 2% chance, we understand those wounds. We understand those wounds. But do you know who had a lot of wounds last night? The Boston Red Sox.
Hey.
Shout out. But Alex Bregman.
That's how it goes.
No, hey. Alex Bregman did have a couple of walks, but
shout out to the Tigers fans, though, who were in attendance.
Yeah.
They made sure that Bregman heard them boo very, very, very loud.
Absolutely, he did. Bet you wish you were here now.
Of
maybe
course.
he does, maybe he doesn't, but the Tigers are certainly better in the standings.
If he's had that Buddy's Pizza, I definitely know he wishes he was here in Detroit.
I don't know if
now.
Boston Pizza's good or not. I don't think they're known for their pizza. So absolutely, but
known
Buddy's
for their
Pizza, yes,
beans.
that was a transition. I'll let you go.
The beans are wicked awesome.
Yeah. They do have really good seafood.
Shout out Kavasi, yeah. Shout out that dude Justin too. When we get back on the other end of the break, we'll say what up though to the rest of the cast and the crew. Because Justin is looking like he's about to get plugged into the Matrix right now. But Buddy's Pizza, that's what's for lunch right now. Don't delay, and make sure that before you go, download that Buddy's Pizza mobile app so that you can start earning points and working towards a free food. Who don't like free food? Free pizza, free breadsticks. That could be you. Now, look, before you get enough points for that and before the promotions start to roll in, you can save 10% on every single order using promo code 10mil. That is the number 10MEAL. That is the original Detroit-style pizza, Buddy's Pizza.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa, featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and we get to talk about those Detroit Tigers who they got that get right. You want to talk about a team that has proven that they will bounce back from a little bit of adversity. It's the Detroit Tigers, which that's something they're going to need. It's bolstered the Detroit Lions in their renaissance. It's bolstered now the Detroit Pistons in their quick turnaround. And we've talked about it. The Detroit Tigers are going to have to find ways to pick themselves up after losses, pick themselves up through slumps, pick themselves up through injuries, and they do it again, man, to the tune of 18 hits, 14 runs, and Jackson Jobe looked a little nasty out there last night. He got out of a big pinch, too. That, to me, was the turning point of the game, where it was bases loaded. They got through the inning, and then just the floodgates opened up for the Detroit Tigers offense, which continues to look like one of the best in all of baseball. And I believe the Detroit Tigers took over the best run differential in all of baseball.
A 12-run win will do it, for sure. But no, it was great to see. It was certainly something that the Tigers needed. I understand that losing one series isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but one number that just proves how baseball is just a really, really funny sport. The Tigers scored 5 runs in the entire series against the Rangers. They scored 9 in the third inning yesterday because, of course, they did. But it was great to see them get right. And I will give them this. In that Rangers series, they faced a lot of good starting pitchers. As we know, Jacob deGrom is back and pitching great. He's not quite prime deGrom, which was maybe the best pitcher I've ever laid eyes on, but he's still damn good. Nathan Eovaldi, Patrick Corbin, they've got a good staff. They really silenced the Tigers' bats for the most part. But yesterday, a 14-run explosion, and 7 players, 7 for the Detroit Tigers, had multiple hits yesterday. You saw Kerry Carpenter with 2. You saw Gleyber Torres with 3, including a big first-inning absolute bomb to make it 2-0 to start the scoring. You saw just keep waiting for that slump in which he just reverts back. And I know, Justin, you did a whole breakdown of how his swing is different and everything, and his hips. but it's just not here.
New hip hop.
Javi Baez would be an all-star if the season ended today. And you don't have to be ashamed of saying that. You don't have to hide or anything. It's absolute fact. So yesterday, 7 players with multiple hits. You can't lose that way. Unbelievable.
And you know what? Just as you stated with Javi Baez, you just kind of sit on the edge of your seat wondering, when is this going to fade off? Same thing with the offense. Is this going to fade off? And it just doesn't. As soon as they kind of, give some fodder to those that want to say this is just all a mirage, then they come right back and they do stuff like this. I believe they're going to send the Red Sox back under 500. That's what I believe through this series. This offense is purring right now. The pitching staff, it continues to prove to be one of the best in all of baseball. And I shout out to Greg 2025 too. He says, Javi got that fire, man. And that's what all these Detroit Tigers are playing with, and the confidence that they're playing with helps so much. We understand how fickle of a sport baseball is, but we also understand how much of the mental part plays its role in all of sports. The confidence that they have right now is allowing them to look and to play and to feel so much more comfortable. And that, to me, is why we're seeing certain players like Spencer Torkelson, who we never questioned if he had the tools. We were all wondering what's going on up top. And with Javi, he got right with the new hip, and now all of a sudden you start to put some things together and the confidence is there. I have to believe the belief from the organization, too. Even when no one believed. I remember a situation a few years ago where I saw Javi Baez jerseys on discount at Walmart. And I posted it, and everybody was like, on Woodward, everyone was like, get this mess out of here. Oh, here y'all go again. No, what y'all trying to this, that, and the other. And to see what's going on right now with Javi Baez is absolutely insane, because I'm seeing more and more Javi Baez jerseys. I'm starting to see them more in stock. Listen, I just wanted to take the stroll. I see no Javi Baez jerseys or shirt jerseys on sale no more or on the clearance rack. And it's so crazy because he's not just kind of bounced back. This team is taking that next step forward. And you're right, there's a lot of these types of players like this who, if you just kind of pause the season right now, you're saying all-star, 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 all-star. We're seeing this team get the necessary internal growth that you have to have, from 2 all-stars to multiple players, whether they get more than 2 this year or not, multiple players who are deserving, and you're still waiting for some dogs, man. This Detroit Tigers team, I think that they love playing from the lead.
Hey, they certainly do. And to really highlight this offense as a whole, there have been maybe a couple of players who've taken a slight step back as recently. Nothing to be worried about just recently, but you've also seen some guys really step up and get scorching hot. And JB, if you've got that OPS list when it comes to the Detroit Tigers, because not only did they have 7 players have multiple hits, at least 2 hits in yesterday's game, they have 7 players with an OPS over 735. Gleyber Torres leads the team 857. Shout out to KG, predicted that he would be an all-star this year. He's certainly in the running for it. He would probably get it if the first half ended today, if the voting ended today. Kerry Carpenter 855, doing what he's always done. When he's healthy, he rakes. That's been his career. Spencer Torkelson, even though he's taken a slight dip, unfortunately, he was 0 for 5 yesterday, and that's got to suck being the one guy who didn't hit yesterday. But even him, he can withstand this. Still at 847. Anything above 800 from Spencer Torkelson, we would be very happy with. I would take that in a heartbeat. Javi Baez back over 800, 808. Again, having a resurgent year. And he also leads the team in wins above replacement, by the way, in terms of positional players. Riley Green, 794. Dylan Dingler, 771. Zach McKinstry, 766. And he is second on the team in positional player wins above replacement. Isn't that funny? Javier Baez and Zach McKinstry are number 1 and number 2 in a positional player war on this team. And Trey Sweeney, and I'll say this, I may have wrote off Trey Sweeney a couple of weeks ago right before I left. He was playing his way out of this lineup, in my opinion. And I thought the only reason he was still in that lineup is because he knows how to play shortstop. Trey Sweeney has been scorching hot. Scorching. I believe he's had three hits or more games recently, and he's found his power stroke. So this offense, through 8-game hit streak as well, he's been absolutely on fire. He's raised his OPS from the 500s to 735, and now his numbers overall are damn respectable. So shout out to this Tigers team, and shout out to them for their offense getting right after a series in which they really struggled.
Yeah, because baseball is a game of, like all sports, ebbs and flows. It's how you ride those ebbs and flows and how you bounce back that really determines what you're going to be as a team. This is no longer a squad that we're looking at as an upstart. It's a team now that the national media is saying they're a real player. They're a top squad. They're beating real teams. They're coming into series against some of the teams that you would normally just push button for this other squad. Even if you got an upstart Tigers team, even if they're excelling at the beginning of the season. But no, you're seeing the Tigers go in and dismantle teams, whether it be from the pitching or whether it be from the hitting or whether it be a combination of the two. And when you get that combination of the two is when it looks as beautiful as it does last night. Anytime we get a chance to go out there and shell the Boston Red Sox, I'm all the way for it, man. And what up, though, to the rest of the cast and crew, too. Shout out to our brother, Matthew Broder, and KG. KG, get better soon, man. Get better soon. Praying for your health to improve. But we got Cavassier Chase in the sound booth. What up, though, man? Repping the colors.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day back in the studio. We were at the country club yesterday. Got to see what it's like to live in Justin's shoes for a day. Yeah. So, yeah, back in the studio. I recorded Fast and Loose this morning, so stay tuned for our double-digit episode dropping later today. So.
Hey, shout out. And Chase, how'd you feel about that offensive explosion by the Tigers last night?
I mean, it felt pretty good. It's happy to see it. You know, like you've seen guys all over the lineup, contributing. So you're happy to see it. Baseball's a long season, so if these guys can stay hot and AJ Hinch can continue to put the right pieces in the right spots, at the right time, then are they going to go out and win by 12 runs every game? No, but if they can at least score, I think 4 seems to be the magic number. If they score 4, they tend to win over 80% of those games or more. Yeah. So they can just go out there and get 4 on the board. That's all I want.
Definitely, man. And that's been one of the things I've loved to see is how their offenses just stay consistent throughout the season. You haven't really seen those dips. Even though we've seen certain players struggle throughout the season, this offense has still found a way in large parts to go out there and get this thing done. Shout out to Mark in the chat. He was like, I was actually about to ask, what are they going to do when Jake Rogers, your favorite player, Flamer, gets healthy?
Rogers.
He says Dingler is better. I like to hear the
Dingler is certainly hitting better than Rogers has ever in his career right now, and he's good defensively. And believe it or not, and I'm not saying Jake Rogers is expendable, Thomas Nido ain't so bad either. His OPS is over 700, but
be careful, man. You know how the Jake Rogers crowd.
And Tarek Skubel's having the best stretch of his life with Dylan Dingler as his catcher, even though Jake Rogers was always his personal catcher. I'm sorry, I have nothing against Jake Rogers.
You're just gonna take the rug from underneath. That was one of the rugs, like the last straw that Jake Rogers supporters had. It was how he paired with Terry.
No, and I want him back. I want him as part of the catching rotation. Thomas Nido, with respect, he's been fine. I'd rather have Jake Rogers in there, but the Rake Rogers nut huggers definitely got on my nerves for a while. I'll just say that. I was happy to see what he did in the playoffs, but people were using Rake Rogers' playoff run to troll me about Riley Green, and that got on my nerves. I'll admit it got on my nerves. And he is what he is. He's a rotational catcher.
And now he's probably at his more proper usage. You want to see the Tigers get better, both internally, both with the players that they trade for. And you want to know that this organization, despite if you're a fan favorite or not, that they're willing to go out there and say, hey, may the best individual go out here and win this thing. Sometimes I feel like, to a fault, previous regimes would be very, very, very loyal or overly loyal to players like that, regardless of what they were actually contributing or if there was somebody else who could have potentially brought a little bit more to the lineup. But that dude, Justin, live from the Matrix, man. Shout out to Neo. How excited are you about the Detroit Tigers?
I'm extremely excited.
This is real.
It is real, but I hate to rain on the parade a little bit, but I just wanted to bring something up that Spencer Torkelson has 1 hit in the last 4 games.
Sure.
And he is sporting below 700 OPS in his last 15 days. I'm not saying to send him in the minors, but it's going to be interesting to see how this is his first slump of the season. We can call it that. It's not a big one. It's a minor one. But I want to see how he bounces back. I want to see how he is able to, take his newfound confidence, take his newfound power because he's hitting home runs at a clip we've never seen before. And I want to see him take it and reset his mind mentally and come back and really just continue to mash the baseball like he has been all year. I'm not worried about that, but I want to see it. He's the one guy in the lineup who's kind of the one that's not staying in that hot consistency that everyone else is at the moment. So
No, that's key, though. That's what this season is about. If this team is going to overcome, it's going to be because those players can go through a slump, go through what we know baseball is going to do to you. And what is it about Spencer Torkelson? It's up top. He's going to have to keep that confidence that we've seen him continue to walk up to the plate with, that plate discipline. He just looks sure of himself. And I do believe he's going to make it through, a little bit of this slump. I really do.
yeah, it's not a big slump. It's in his last 15 days, has a 673 OPS. So it's not horrible. He's not far off the major league average, but it's not the 900 OPS we've seen from Torque this year.
But I don't think he's a 900 OPS guy. I don't think that's what he projects to be. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's okay, by the way. I would take anything. I think that he's going to be a low-ish average, hopefully high walk, high power guy. That's what I think he's going to be, and that's fine. Like I said, as long as his OPS stays above 800 and the Tigers continue to win at a decent clip, I'm not going to say anything about Spencer Torkelson. And I'm the Torque hater, apparently, but I'm not going to say anything because slumps happen. He'll be fine, but it is like last night, for example, he was the only one that didn't get a hit. Not a big deal, but he's certainly struggling a bit.
Hey, and I get why you would bring it up. And shout out to Broder, brother Matt Broder in the chat. He says, "Is this a Torque slump or was April a Torque streak?"
Well, that's the thing. Like 847, which is OPS right now. I think that's about what he's going to be.
Yeah,
and that's fine. And that's perfectly fine.
I'm hoping he stays above 825. I think
Fair.
825 is a very you're edging to the elite status of hitters, but you're not quite there.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he doesn't press. Like, even if this thing extends a little bit, don't press. Don't go chasing for the home runs. I'm hoping that Spencer Torkelson continues to look like the player we saw at the beginning of the season and throughout, who just looked much more comfortable and much more patient at the plate. Being able to see pitches well, being able to take a few more walks. Even earlier in the season, I believe there was one other little stretch where maybe a couple games the hits weren't there, but he still was able to get on base. He was still able to draw some walks. And that's what I'm hoping to see out of Spencer Torkelson. To me, that would make me comfortable. Whether he's getting the hits right now, whether he's still being the big stick right now that we've seen him be throughout portions of the season, are you still confident? Are you still going up there and still seeing the ball well? Because what you're going to do is you're putting yourself on everybody's radar. You talk about what he might be going through right now, Justin. Maybe he's put himself on people's radar that he has figured this thing out. Now people are like, yo, we're going to have to change what we probably had from the beginning of the season scouting report-wise, and they're going to have to attack him a little bit differently. And you're right. That's going to be the trend to kind of look at is how he responds to this because of how much he's meant to the Detroit Tigers to start the season. I think it was Ed Catelius who said as well earlier that Justin is just saying out loud what we're all thinking of as it relates to Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, I mean, you got to bring it up. Like, it's part of the team. It's part of the things that are going on with the team. Not everyone can be, mashing the baseball like the way that even Trey Sweeney and Javi Baez are. Funny that those two are the two that we're talking about being the two hottest guys in the team. But I think that in this room, it seems like there's no concern. I think everyone has faith that he's going to bounce back. He might regress a little bit from the superstar start he had this season, but that's okay. We're not asking Torque to, be hitting 900 OPS. We're looking for low 800s, and that's okay. Like Flannel said.
That's more than okay, especially relative to his expectations before the season. Obviously, if he maintains this, expectations are going to be for him to be this for his career. But he's been a revelation. Even with this recent slump, the Tigers are not where they are without him. And before we move on to the pitching, because I really like the Jackson Jobe get right as well.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I'm talking about with the Jake Rogers people. Crazy clown. Not surprised you said this because you're kind of a slappy. With respect, Jake Rogers has Lance Parrish potential, in my opinion, though. Based on what, bro? Lance Parrish was an 8-time All-Star. That's what I'm talking about. Jake Rogers is a 1.5 catcher, if that makes sense. Like, he could start on some teams. He's fine. He had a good playoff run. He plays good defensively. He was Terrence Kubel's personal catcher. He's not Lance Parrish and never will be. I don't think anybody in Major League Baseball right now at the catcher position who's in their prime is Lance Parrish.
Oh, man. Hey, shout out to Jaw Wall. He says, is that a Professor X chair? He's talking to you, Justin.
Yes.
Yes. And I see you, Broder, in the chat as we are going to get to this pitching. He says Jackson Jobe is nasty AF.
Absolutely.
Needs to pitch to contact much more, but his stuff is juice. And that's what I saw last night. It gives, I believe, somebody like Chris Fetter a whole lot to work with. The young pitcher like Jackson Jobe, who's already proving to be a formidable part of this pitching rotation.
Hey, and we're going to talk about him because he had himself a night as well. And even before the game got out of hand, as you said, Kool-Aid got himself out of a big jam. But where we at, merch?
Yep, merch. I'll tell you guys about some merch. Do yourself a favor, head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. New designs for you every single week. We'll try to work on some Javi Baez merch, even though I probably won't be getting it, but still, you should.
Will you wear it if I gift it to you?
If you gift it to
I'll
me, yes.
drop my love for the Detroit Science shirt.
If you gift it to me, yes, I will wear it. But go out there and get yourself some Woodward Tigers gear, as you should be rocking at Comerica Park right now. And you can't forget about those LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies, still available for you right now. They're still our team, damn it. Head over to woodwardsports.com and just click on that shop tab.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
Oh. I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo.
Ah.
You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Spring is in the air and Michigan is buzzing. 7.5 milligrams of real THC wrapped in bubbles, crafted with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. They're big in flavor but low in calories with 100% hangover free. It's all the bubbles with no troubles. Catch it in watermelon, cherry, strawberry, or try one of the 2 brand new flavors, peach or raspberry lemonade. Crack a can, take a sip, and catch a buzz. Available at any of Loom's 38 locations across Michigan. Use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order, online or in store. Go to www.loom.com today.
What up, though? People, welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Gosh, man, buddies, is looking like lunch on the back wall. Shout out to our brothers as well, Woodward brothers. See Matthew Broder, Speak Easy, as well as a lot of the chat OGs. Thank you guys for being here and supporting the Woo crew. Continue to talk about the Detroit Tigers. The conversation has been really, really good because we know for the Tigers to get where they want to get, I think it's important for them to try and keep the lead. Stay at the top of the division. Stay at the top of the AL. And find themselves building that confidence as you make your way into the playoffs. And the Detroit Tigers right now, even with injuries, even through some slumps, man, they're finding a way through. Even still figuring things out for some of their young players, like a Jackson Jobe last night. Shout out to the Tigers for having a lot of faith in him, letting him work through some things, and allowing him to go out there and show just how nasty he really is. I can't wait till he figures this all out.
Yes, and before I talk about Job, easy in the chat, what jersey is that? That is Riley Green. I said some very terrible things about my favorite player a while back, and I promised that if he got his OPS over 800, he didn't have to maintain it. If he got his OPS over 800, I would buy a Riley Green jersey, and I'd wear it for the rest of the baseball season. So you're going to be seeing this jersey a lot. But speaking of somebody whose jerseys might be flying off the shelf, how about Jackson Jobe? Had himself a nice get-right after a really tough start at Coors Field, a start in which the team bailed him out, but a tough start nonetheless. His ERA had gotten to the point where it was closer to 5 than 4, which obviously none of us like. But last night, just reading the numbers really quick, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run allowed, 5 walks. Broder in the chat, shout out to you, was talking about needs to pitch to contact more. I agree with that. That's a number you don't want to see, which meant Job had some trouble on the base pass, including in the 3rd inning, but he was always able to get out of it. And 7 strikeouts, which you do like, and 100 pitches, which gotta love this AJ Hinch and Feder having the confidence for him to go out there and throw 100 pitches, because I know all managers are gun shy with young pitchers, but you know what? You're going to have to get there eventually, and Jackson Jobe was able to do that. And the 4th and 5th inning and 6th inning were also very low stress, so I think that had something to do with as well. But Jackson Jobe was great. He navigated a lineup which the Red Sox, even though they're about a 500 baseball team, they do have 3 players still, even after last night, 3 in the top 10 in the AL in OPS. Wilyer Abreu, Rafael Devers, and of course our favorite guy, Alex Bregman. I say that sarcastically, but can't deny he's having a good year. So is Devers, so is Abreu. Jackson Jobe said absolutely no problem. And one thing about Jobe, which is, I don't want to say this makes him unique on this Tigers staff, but it's very noticeable. The man, he's not as nasty right now as, say, Skubal or even, I think, Mize was this year, or even Flaherty to some extent at times. But Jackson Jobe might have the deepest bag in terms of put-away pitches, because you saw last night, he struck out 3 batters on sliders, 1 on a changeup, 2 on curveballs, and then 1 on a high 97-mile-per-hour absolute gas, blew a high fastball right by Trevor Story. You love to see that. You love to see his entire arsenal, that he's completely in his bag. And even though the second half of his outing was low stress, the Tigers had obviously gotten him a big lead. I love to see him still put up those great numbers, and hopefully with a couple more starts like that, he can get that ERA right back down below 4 again, where it belongs, where I think it's ultimately going to be when this season is over.
That's what makes what's going on with the Tigers this year so amazing to me, is that they have the opportunity to literally, hey, our injured guys, get right. Hey, our guys like Casey Mize, hamstring, you know what? We don't know, because I haven't heard necessarily how serious his injury is. The sense that I've gotten is that it's more or less, we're going to make sure that we take some precaution because we know that we can. I saw somebody else earlier in the chat even say, you know what, look how deep this team is. We were all talking about the beginning of the season. Some of the players, we couldn't wait for them to call up. Well, where are they going to be now? You know what I mean? Because it's not just the call-ups, it's a couple players that are going to get healthy too. That, to me, is a very, very good problem. You find the Tigers entering into really, really good first world problems, and I believe that they're going to be able to capitalize this year more so than last and get a little bit further because of the depth that they have. I see Mark in the chat. He says, we're deep in pitching. It's wild how good our pitching is overall. Our bullpen is loaded up too. That's what I thought was going to carry this team to at least being within striking distance of the Guardians for the first half of the season. And then when the bats get going in the summertime, I thought, boom, the Tigers are going to take off. Instead, what we've seen is the Tigers' bats just say, hey, you know what? We're here too. We're here too. We know that we didn't go out there and make the big splashy signing to bring in a big bat like Bregman or someone else. We know that we didn't even go out there and really play. You know, they played a little bit of this aspect of, hey, underrated signing here. And Harris knew exactly what he was doing. He's fitting this team, in my opinion, to a mold that AJ Hinch is able to get the most out of, both when you're talking about what the bats are doing and then what he's able to do with this pitching staff. And what I saw last night with Jackson Jobe, to me, shows that despite how good AJ Hinch is, despite how good Chris Feder is, there's still this process of being able to understand, know, and being able to trust your players as well. And to me, it shows throughout the season that there's a lot of players that we had questions about that this organization and this coaching staff clearly didn't. And they're showing, whether it's game by game or whether it's over a stretch of a season or whether it's over an off season, that they have a different aspect and level of trust and understanding of their players and of their personnel. Think about, just in contrast, the trade Ermanni Williams, how little he understood about the personnel he had. Hey, Jaden, just hit the bench. That Killian,
you found a way to bring up Monty Williams.
Somehow, some way.
Shout out to the Pistons. But it's when you see what you have with A.J. Hinch right now, who we already know is going to be a master strategist, we also see now that he's also one of those guys that can understand and find a level of trust both ways with his players. And that's what last night, if we want to put it in a vacuum, Jackson Jobe, trusting him with the amount of pitches, trusting him to get out of the jams, and the offense did a lot to be able to provide some cushion for him, and being able to see him work on stuff, develop, even though the Tigers still have high expectations that they've now reset for themselves.
They've got. Why can't they win the World Series? As a lot of us have been saying. I mean, they 100% should. And a Broder in the chat, shout out to him giving a former college pitcher at Michigan's perspective on pitching. And this is interesting. And I've got another angle on this as well. What you love to see is what he did immediately after the big 9-run inning. Strikeout on 3 pitches and then 2 quick outs. That was actually the inning where he was most in the strike zone, which was very interesting. As Broder, you know better than I do, when you've got an 11-0 lead that you're working with, just don't walk anybody. Throw it right down the middle, see what they can do. Not exactly that, but you understand what I'm saying. Just throw strikes. Maturity. That's not easy after 45 minutes sitting down. And we know, and this is where I want to give Jackson Jobe credit as well. We know that they were up 11-0. He could have given up 3-4 runs in the fourth, maybe got pulled after 4, and it wouldn't have made a difference in the world. The Tigers would have won that game. But I think Jackson Jobe himself, I'm not saying that he's pitching to have good numbers, but he wants to pitch well. He doesn't want to give a lot of it back, even if you were never going to be in danger of losing. He wants to at least get through 5 and be the pitcher of record, and he wants to continue to pitch well and hone his craft. He's very young. He hasn't pitched a lot of innings in Major League Baseball, and I think, Broder, you are spot on with that, and that's why, despite not really needing him to be great, at least after the 3rd inning, the fact that he was just put the cherry on top, and now I can really realistically talk about how Jackson Jobe got right. And that's why when we were talking yesterday about brief slight concerns or regressions to Jackson Jobe, Jack Flaherty with their ERAs ballooning and Casey Mize's injury, the player I was least concerned about was Jackson Jobe, because he's still so young. His ERA was really inflated by one bad start at Coors Field. He got right. He'll be fine. I think he'll factor heavily in the Rookie of the Year race when it's all said and done.
Man, and you know what? I saw some people that were concerned about if the Tigers are going to be able to maintain the pitching and the hitting. The pitching, I have no concern about. You're being led by Terry Skubal. I do believe Casey Mize is going to be okay, despite the fact that there is reason to have concern. But this pitching staff as a whole, it's a gem as it relates to pitching throughout all of Major League Baseball. And as it relates to the hitting, the Tigers, man, just even in their last 20 games where we've seen them take a series off offensively, they're still averaging 6.4 runs per game in their last 20 games. Just under 10 hits per game, man. And they're 14-6 during that time. Shout out to the Tigers for figuring this thing out, and for A.J. Hinch and Cole having confidence and trust, not just in the guys that we expected, but a lot of other players that have gone out there and figured this thing out, like Javi Baez, like Spencer Torkelson, and others. And Gromit has an interesting comment, man. He says, if the Tigers don't buy at the deadline, they ain't serious.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And Gromit, you're very on brand. I don't think you can even muster the breath to say one positive thing about the Tigers. And to be honest, that's pretty sad. I'm not going to lie. So appreciate you being here, but just enjoy what you're seeing. And Chase, I know you're a big Jobe guy. What'd you think of his outing last night?
I mean, it's great to see, and if I think there's a lot of uncertainty, at least with some fans, on whether or not Skubal is going to be here long term. So I think there's a lot of faith, at least for some of us, that we're putting in Jackson Jobe to take the torch and be the next guy to carry the mantle for this team over the next however many years we have him under team control, and hopefully we're able to lock him up long term as well. But I mean, as far as young guys coming up through the system, he's one of the names you've been hearing about for a while, and it's good to see him not only like get a taste of action last year, but in what is going to be his first full season, seem to be delivering the goods consistently with Chris Fetter, helping him out on a daily basis.
Hey, what do you guys think about this? Broder, our resident pitching expert.
Shout out to Bro.
For real, he is the resident pitching expert of Woodward Sports Objectively. Gonna hear about Job versus Skeens for many, many years. Oh wait, the Tigers have Tarek Skubal too. Have mercy! Shout out, Full House, Jesse Katsopoulos, but John Stamos. But yeah, obviously Skeens has accomplished a lot more than Job has in Major League Baseball. But I think he's talking about just young, talented pitchers. Paul Skeens, I think, has already proven that he's great, that he's going to be great, that I think multiple All-Stars, multiple Cy Youngs. We'll see if we get that from Jackson Jobe, but I think we've seen a lot more good than bad, even with his ERA. There's a couple funny stats on Jackson Jobe I actually want to get to before we move on to the Lions. And I think this is a little bit of luck, even for the biggest Jobe slappies. I think you'll agree with me. The Tigers are 7-0 when he starts this year, even though he has an ERA of above 4.30. The Tigers have certainly bailed him out a couple of times, but a lot of the reason why his ERA is a little bit inflated too, besides for that bad outing at Coors Field, is because early on in the season, he had a couple of outings in which, he was a little wild, not super crisp, and the Tigers only left him out there for 4 innings, and he allowed 3 runs. So mostly he's been good. He's just, I think he has to work on, as Broder said earlier, just throwing more strikes, pitching to contact, and not being worried about throwing the ball in the strike zone, because hitting a baseball is hard. Even if you make a mistake, there's no guarantee that even the best hitters will hit it.
Yeah, definitely. And just sitting here looking at the standings right now and going over to the overall, you see the Tigers just a half game tied with the New York Mets, a half game behind the LA Dodgers for the best record in all of baseball. But who do you see sitting up there as the best team overall in terms of run differential? The Tigers with a 3-run differential lead over the New York Yankees. The Mets are about 20, almost 20 away from the Detroit Tigers, about 16 away from the Tigers in that. That's how good this squad has been, man. Runs scored, runs allowed. The Detroit Tigers are just one of the best, and I believe well-balanced squads out there, and being so up close and personal to the situation, it is amazing to see them get this thing done. No matter who's going through a slump, no matter who's hot or not, this team is showing that they are a true team, and it gives you shades of some of the Tigers teams that we love to root for a little bit of a decade and a half ago.
They're definitely a little different in a lot of ways in the way that they're built, particularly with the 2012 one. But I get what you're saying. They're for real. In my opinion, they're for real, and they're going to be a factor when it's all said and done.
Would you agree with this? Matthew Kruger says, I haven't been this impressed by pitching staff since we had Scherzer, Verlander, Fister, Sanchez, and Porcello.
100%. There's no doubt whatsoever. That's not a controversial statement at all, because the Tigers weren't very good for a while, and now their pitching is among the best in Major League Baseball. And before we talk about go ahead. They've got a great dude. Some of those bullpens, even when they were good,
they were awful,
horrible. I didn't even think about that.
Like, we're talking about like Jabba Chamberlain and Benoit leading the charge. Like guys who don't even hold a candle to guys like Canely and Vest and all the Herder.
Yeah.
And the names go on and on. How many good names are in this bullpen? Like, it's crazy.
Don't forget about the legend Al Albuquerque.
Phil Coke running out the bullpen, bro.
Phil Coke.
Even why am I forgetting his name? He was a Papa Grande.
Jose Valverde.
He had he had 1 year, I think, where he was perfect.
Yeah, he had a perfect 46 save season.
It was a roller coaster.
It was a lot of times it was a roller coaster.
Nobody pissed me off as a kid like Todd Jones coming out to close a game.
No, but he got the job done. It was in a lot of ways, but yeah, no, the bullpen is phenomenal. If you combine starting pitching in the bullpen, even though the starters have Casey Mize is on the IL, Flaherty and Jobe have had some struggles recently that they weren't having at the beginning of the year, they're still probably the best when you combine bullpen and starters. And for the record, I'll say Crazy Clown is crashing out in the chat right now. Let me just say this. I have thought at times that Neil was a little bit too harsh on you. Not anymore. You're insane, bro. Insane. You got some Eminem Stan vibes going on in the chat right now. If you want to call in on another day, that's all.
Can you read a couple comments for the people that don't have chat open?
If you want to, yeah. I mean, do you want me to read them?
Yeah, I would like to know.
All right, let me see. Let me see, because it goes far back. It goes real far back. Here, I'll just Crazy Clown. They talk at me instead of discussing things with me. That's not the worst. Don't insinuate that I'm not intelligent. I never did. I will back everything up if I get an opportunity. You won't give me one. This is why I get so pissed off. And this isn't new. You want to talk crap but then ignore my replies because there's like a million of them. Replies I meant. This is exactly why I don't like giving an opinion on these channels. Well, the problem is it started out. This is where it all started out with a Crazy Clown, because he said something earlier which was objectively stupid. With all due respect, Crazy Clown, or with all due disrespect, I'll just say that. It's basically saying that Jake Rogers has Lance Parrish potential, who is literally an 8-time All-Star. But then he said something like, Lance Parrish's all-time OPS is 752, but Neil and Flannel will act like it's mid. And when did I ever say that? When did I ever insinuate that? I'm actually defending Lance Parrish. According to you, he's just a glorified Jake Rogers. That's the shit that gets on my nerves, man. Just acting so damn.
Flannel's back. We miss you, man.
Like, what are we even talking about?
But shout out Crazy Clown, still a valued member of chat.
Of course, but what are you talking about?
Chat and on
I didn't even like nobody said anything of the like. You're the blind nut hits a squirrel, or the blind squirrel hits a nut, or whatever. Just every single take the slappiest take on absolutely everything.
The first one was wild.
Jake Rogers is Lance Parrish. Let me guess. Is Trey Sweeney? I don't even want to go. Is Trey Sweeney Alan Trammell?
Tell me about this.
Made it to 909, everybody. 909.
Goodness gracious. Listen, we got a TLB. Shout out to Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth, voice of reason, in the TD booth. What up, though, brother? You just over there cooking away in your own lane.
I'm just over here laughing, just enjoying it with popcorn. Like, Flannel, we made it to 909 before the outburst.
Oh man!
And they actually kind of like. There's actually been a lot of comments, but I actually like didn't get to some of them because there's it only lets you go back so far.
Hey, let's get to the next segment because we got a TLB. Word to our brother Broder, man. It is time to talk Lions because PFF, Pro Football Flannel, has had a lot of good things to say about one of these players, and they are predicting. They're predicting something here, and I can't wait to talk about it as it relates to breakout candidates for this season. And I believe the Lions, absolutely need this player to step up this year and build on what I thought was a pretty decent foundation in year one. So, what friends you want to say what up though to? Is it haircut time?
Yes, it is.
It is. So guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. We really do. Like, it would have been simple to just, give JB Bickerstaff Coach of the Year. You guys would have looked so much more justified right now. Like, gimmies on the golf course. We like uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
Yeah, for sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy. That is today, and he will make that appearance. And every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice, breaking down the different injuries from across the different teams, keeping us updated on the rehab trails. And quite frankly, if there's things that you don't understand, like there's certain things I don't understand with this medical stuff, Dr. Pierce clears it all up as it relates to your sports teams. And you know what? He'll even help you in your personal, too. So trust the guy that D-Mac does, because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game, performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Hey, and we are back. It is time to TLB word to our brother Broder. We got to talk some Lions.
Yep.
And it was interesting, man. This was something that caught my attention right away. One, because it's a player that we've already had some discussion about, you know, that year two leap that you want to see. And this is a player I believe is the most important one that you need to take that year two leap. You saw already the level of importance they placed on the role that Terrion Arnold was going to have. And I think that it was foreshadowing who they want him to be. They instantly threw Terrion Arnold out there to the Wolves. They put him out there in a lot of single and man coverage, and they allowed him to go out there and make his mistakes and grow through it in a big spot for this team. And I do believe that going into this next year, you're looking for more of the same, because if you have a cornerback who can affect the completion percentage as effectively as he did with as many reps as he saw in coverage, that's a person who makes your defense that much better, especially when we don't feel they might have addressed the edge the way we would have wanted them to.
Yeah, so the man that they are predicting to take a leap, PFF, is Terrion Arnold. TA. And the write-up really quick. Do you mind reading that, JB Smooth?
Oh, yeah, I got you. It says, Arnold's rookie year did not go as planned for former first-round pick, though it's not often easy for any rookie cornerback to come into the league and immediately start shutting down NFL talent. Arnold still allowed just a 61.2% reception rate when targeted, a top 25 mark among 73 qualifying cornerbacks. For Arnold, the best is certainly yet to come, as his time at Alabama as a high-end coverage corner would suggest.
Interesting, because PFF does start off with Arnold's rookie year did not go as planned, which I agree with that, much to the chagrin of a lot of people, of my colleagues at this network. And this is actually big coming from PFF, because a lot of you guys might not know this. I'm obviously a bigger PFF fan than most, but PFF was not very complimentary of the season that Terrion Arnold had last year. They had him graded low. They had him graded low even in the context of other corners in the NFL and even other rookies. Not very high on the season that he had. But I will say this about Terrion, even though I am not as high on his rookie year as some. I've always said you saw some things that you can build upon. The completion percentage allowed when targeted is objectively good. 61.2 is objectively good. You saw that in man coverage, he really thrived as opposed to every other type of coverage he was in. He was good in man coverage. He was put there often and did a really good job.
One of the highest rates in the league.
Absolutely. And also the 10 penalties, and I know we've been over this a lot, 8 of them were in the first 4 weeks. He cleaned that up towards the end of the year. So yes, even though his rookie year to me was fine enough for a rookie, he's got a foundation that he can build upon. And even PFF, a site that did not grade him high, the fact that they recognize it, I actually think it's a pretty big deal.
I do too. That's what caught my attention right away, because we're all sitting here wondering about the year 2 leap. Internal growth for this team is very important because it's your assets that you have under control that are going to play big important roles that are cheaper right now. We're sitting here as it relates to the defensive line and offensive line, the trenches, hoping that they can go and make some additions that aren't going to stop our ability to keep the players here that we've drafted. Everybody liked seeing Amon-Ra get paid, Panay get paid. Everybody liked seeing Kirby Joseph get the bag. The only way that you can realistically keep that going forward is if these players like Terrion Arnold take that step forward and they prove to be those dudes. If he does, then it gives you a few more years during this window to have a little bit more cap space. Take care of the guys that you already have here, and when it's time for TA to get his bag, the cap space will be higher. Things will roll over more in his favor as it relates to how the roster will look, and he was going to have a good opportunity to earn that. I wonder if there were things that the Lions could have done after seeing the certain coverages that he faced to be able to hide TA or to be able to play him less to in the positions that will tend towards his mistakes. But what we saw is that the Lions know best. When we're talking about development, we're talking about the coaching staff and what they're doing to put these players in their best position to succeed. You said it right. This guy only had a couple penalties the last, 13 weeks of the season, and he was placed in a lot of positions to where, as if he's a handsy player, you would think. They didn't reduce the amount of man coverage he was in. They still said, hey, look, this is what we need from you right now. And he was able to go out there, learn on the fly, get a little bit better. And I believe that figuring that out and having a full offseason with that mentality, understanding what it's going to take, understanding what your team is going to need from you, and I do believe the defense got a little bit better. I believe that this does bold and set up well for Terrion Arnold to have a year 2 breakout, a leap to where we believe he's not just, okay, we see the growth, but we see a player who's stepping into one of those cornerbacks who makes the conversations a little uncomfortable.
Well, I wonder too if there's any validity to baptism by fire, because he certainly
he got it.
No, I mean, when you look at last year, obviously Carlton Davis went out later in the year, and Ennis Rakestraw, his fellow mate in his rookie class, I believe played less than 50 snaps due to injury. And we all know towards the end, when Carlton Davis was out, was when the Lions were playing their playoff game and their highest leverage regular season game, which was the last one in which they won the division. That's a lot to put on a young corner, and that's also great experience. He's played in big games. I thought he played really well in the Vikings game, not so much the Commanders game, but the Vikings game he actually did play well. So as I was saying before, there is a foundation, and I do, even though I've been more skeptical of him than others, I think he's going to at least take a leap in year 2, whether it's a CB1 type of leap, doesn't have to because DJ Reed's on the other side, whether it's just getting better in terms of, having a lower passer rating allowed when targeted, allowing fewer big plays, allowing fewer touchdowns, maybe getting a pick or 2, which I'm not super concerned about the no picks, but it would be nice. There's a lot of room for him to grow, and
he had his opportunities to get his picks.
And that's all right. Like I said, I'm not as married to interceptions as some. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell didn't get any either.
But as he is, you want to see him get one pick.
I know. His safety teammates did a fine enough job, and Carlton Davis did a fine enough job in that Texans game. He won the game for them with his pick. So his teammates picked him up
like a prophet.
We need some takeaways, man. Right as it was happening, you see Carlton Davis like,
look at that, man.
Yeah.
Voice the reason, JB Smooth. What up, though, man? Help balance this conversation a little bit. Tell us what's right. Tell us what's wrong. You got Terrion Arnold. PFF is saying that he's a breakout candidate. Yeah. I do believe the Detroit Tigers, well, just based on internal growth and some of the fine-tuning they did on defense, are going to be a little bit better and a lot better when you actually get healthy. This bodes well, in my opinion, for a TA breakout.
I agree with PFF and everything that you guys have said as well, too. as this past previous season, you've seen flashes of this, pop up from him from game to game. I know he gets a little handsy from time to time. Penalties suck, but obviously he still was a rookie and he's still learning. I think after a season under this Detroit Lions belt, he'll fully try to understand and get what he needs to do out there on the field. Obviously, health is an issue as well that, you want to make sure he's okay, he's good to go every single game and every single rep. But I think for a bounce back, this is a perfect spot and a perfect opportunity for him as it is right now. So he's got my vote for a bounce back player.
Definitely. And that dude, Justin, Terrion Arnold, I know that you've been very, very high on these young cornerbacks and believing that they will be able to reach the measure. I know that you're still the president of the Ennis Rakestraw fan club as well. But, Terrion Arnold, this year 2 jump, PFF is predicting it. And I'm so glad that Flannel included the context that this is a site that has largely graded him tough to this point. But they did see enough out of Terrion Arnold to believe that between what the Lions did to shore themselves up and what Terrion Arnold can do to improve on those weaknesses, that he is a prime breakout candidate. And I guess a question as well is, what does breakout year look like for you as it relates to Terrion Arnold?
Well, I definitely agree with PFF. I think that Terrion Arnold showed a lot of potential, especially in those last 3 games of the season. He had a 56% completion percentage against him in that span and really was taking away half the field. He didn't let up more than an average of 50 yards per game in the last 3 games as well. So I do expect Terrion to take a big jump, but that was with the injuries to Carlton Davis and Amik Robinson in that last game as well. So I really think that he is going to take a nice step, and I think that the next step for him is just showing that he can be a week-by-week cornerback 2 at the floor, but also I think his ceiling is still a cornerback 1. I think he still has that in his bag. Not every draft prospect is created equal. Some draft prospects come in and they're Patrick Surtain and they're immediately, or Sauce Gardner, and they're immediately one of the best corners in the league. Others can have longer trajectories over more seasons where they need to develop, especially when they don't have the help with all the injuries like how Terrion Arnold did. So I do think Terrion Arnold does have the potential to get to that cornerback 1 status, but I do think he's going to take a step into legitimacy as a cornerback 2 this season.
Hey, you know what, chat? Get your comments in as well. Get your answers in. I want to hear from you guys. What does a breakout year look like for you as it relates to Terrion Arnold? And Flannel Sam, for you, what does that look like? Paint the picture for us, Flannel Angelo.
All right. I'm more... If I'm talking about the cornerback style that I like, and this is where I think me and WeezyD313 are going to disagree a bit in the chat, because I'll read his comment because it relates to basically what I think in terms of a breakout year. He basically said that in order to justify the first round picks, he needs some interceptions from Terrion Arnold. He also mentioned Jack Campbell as well, but the Jack Campbell discussion is for another day, and I think he's certainly proven a lot more than Terrion Arnold has. But with Terrion Arnold, if you want me to put a number to it here, I'll put some numbers to it. I would like to see him allow less than an 85 passer rating when targeted. This year he was at 99. I'd like to see that dip down to about 85. The completion percentage allowed when targeted, I'm fine with 61.2. That's very, very good, although I think there's even room for improvement there, although I'm not pounding the table for it. I'd also like to see maybe in the 500s or 600s in terms of yards allowed and maybe 2 touchdowns or less. I think that's doable.
With the flags turned down to start the season.
Sure, but I'm not even as worried about the flags right now because he did that in the season. He wasn't a penalty he wasn't a penalty machine at all he was a super duper uber penalty machine in the first 4 weeks, but then he turned into not penalty prone at all. That's actually that's a testament to his play. But to just repeat, I would say 85 passer rating allowed when targeted or lower. The same completion percentage allowed is fine. Continue to excel in man coverage. Maybe between 500 and 600 yards allowed when targeted, maybe 2 touchdowns. And I would like to see at least an interception or two. Although, if he can do a better job at coverage, period, I'm not pounding the table for that either. But I do think an interception or two will come this year.
Hey, you know, I like that. And do you mind if we take a little bit, say what up, though, to some friends, come back to talk more Terrion Arnold and Lions defense? Because I'm wondering, they said that Brad Holmes was a secondary whisperer and cornerback guy before he got here, on his way here to Detroit. And we were wondering, when is he going to address this? Well, right now he has that secondary looking really, really scary right now, especially top heavy when you talk about those safeties. I'm wondering how much the bag that Kirby got, knowing that Aiden's about to get that big investment too. I wonder how much faith he's putting in this secondary, taking a big step forward to actually be more of a help for the pass rush, because he clearly didn't address the edge the way a lot of people thought. But you look at the investments and how the picks have panned out in that secondary, and that's where I believe he's saying, you know what, I need you guys to go out there and be stars of this defense next year.
And before, I just got to read this comment from Krugy. Please be trolling. In order for Arnold, in my opinion, to be considered a breakout season is at least 30 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 2 picks. Come on.
Wow.
Come on, Krugy.
He's looking forward to being his prime right now.
Come on, Krugy.
Super prime.
So prime Deion Sanders or
Super
bum.
prime, bro. Hey,
30 pass deflections is okay.
I want to hear from Kavasi on the other end of the break too, man, about TA and then get more into this defense. That's something, man.
That's impossible. That will not happen. That will not happen. And that's okay, by the way. That's more than okay.
Oh, shoot. Let's say what I'm doing to some friends. I think it's Mad Packs, one of my favorite live reads here at the station.
Mad Packs. Chase, I think that's you.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
It's KG, but I'm KG today. So here's KG to talk to you about Mad Packs. Hottest new cannabis brand, and they're partnering with Woodward Sports, so you know what that means. I'm going to be feeling good for opening day and Tigers season. Mad Packs is going to take your game to the next level. High-low is getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom is a live resin-infused tarantula, and this one's the bomb, yo. Blizzard Packs THCA Moon Rocks that hit like a blizzard, coming to select retailers in May 2025. That's now, gentlemen, ladies, and as well. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports Network for all of your latest updates.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hold on. Listen.
All right, Woodward sports fans. Whether you're in the game or simply chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products. 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are popping up your way very, very soon. If you don't have time to check out all their products in store, check them out online at jarscannabis.com or check them out on Instagram at @jars_live, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back to this Wake Up Woodward, and something tells me we're going to talk about some islands real quick. I like Belle Isle.
Oh, yeah.
Is there another island of interest right now?
All right. And I shouldn't give this much time to this, but I really, really hate when people just give expectations. And Krugy, I don't know if you're being serious or not, but something tells me that maybe you are. of Terrion Arnold has to have 30 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes for next year to be considered a successful season. A couple numbers on that. Last season, how much do you think Kool-Aid, I'll let you guess. What was the number of pass deflections that led the league last year? Do you even have a guess?
I don't even know. I would probably say maybe 20s, low 20s.
19. It was Denzel Ward. 19. So Terrion Arnold has to get 11 more than that next year for Krugy to be happy.
Goodness.
Do you know what the record is for pass deflections in a season? And shout out to the chat for giving me this one. I obviously confirmed it, even though I trust you guys. It was 31 by Darrelle Revis in 2009.
Revis Island.
So maybe a top 3 corner ever at the absolute apex of his career did it. No other player in NFL history has had a 30 pass deflection season.
Is that the same Darrelle Revis? I don't even like it. I don't even like remembering this. But the same one who had some success against one Calvin Johnson when nobody else in the league could?
Yes, because he might be the best corner I've ever seen. I didn't see a lot of Deion's prime, but Darrelle Revis is kind of like our generation's Deion. And yes, Kruger said, I said breakout season, not successful season. And yes, I'm serious. You're asking him to have maybe the greatest cornerback season in NFL history.
Who Hardin said, is 30 pass deflections even a thing?
No! No! It's not a thing. It's like, I would be doing the same thing, and I haven't seen this, thank goodness, if people were like, Jared Goff has to have 45 touchdown passes, or Aiden Hutchinson has to have 20 sacks. That's the type of shit that just drives me insane. Be realistic.
Yeah. Look, I want to get back into TA, and I'm gonna go to Kavasi real quick, but shout out to Dante 511, Dante 151 with the $4.99 super chat. He says, point and laugh. I just saw that breaking news a few minutes ago. He says, point and laugh at the Vikings for having to play twice overseas this year.
That I obviously am not gonna shed a tear for the Vikings, but that's actually kind of some BS. If I'm a Vikings fan, I'm pretty pissed, but I am so sorry, Vikings fans.
That's
so sorry.
Oh man,
but that's a raw deal. I feel bad.
Oh goodness, I can't wait to see how their schedule lays. If they're playing the Lions after either one of those international games, BTA,
sure, yeah.
I cannot wait.
That's
crazy. Kavasi Chase, we're talking about Terrion Arnold, and we're gonna even expand out a little bit more to this defense. Because it looks like the Lions have invested a lot into the secondary over the last few seasons, including giving the bag to Kirby Joseph. That was something that we were wondering. We were all saying we wanted to happen, and then he actually went out there and did it. And now PFF is expecting a big breakout year or a breakout candidate in TA. And the Lions, they already threw him, like you said, baptized him in fire.
Sure.
But how are you feeling about this? TA is a breakout candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you improve your defensive line and you're able to get pressure on the quarterback quicker, you're forcing them to make decisions faster, then they might put the ball in riskier positions and allow players like Terrion Arnold to be in a better position to, make a play on the ball. We saw last year he was really close a lot of the time to making the play. He just needed to get his head turned around at other times. And earlier in the season, he was, a little handsy, but as he progressed throughout the year, he got a lot better. And I think with an improved defensive line and less time he has to spend overall in coverage, playing man-to-man, I mean, maybe he doesn't spend as much time in a man-to-man coverage scheme as well because Aaron Glenn is no longer our defense coordinator. We don't know what exactly Kelvin Shepard's going to run. So, I mean, we might see him in different positions that allow him to succeed and, maybe be more aggressive or less aggressive on the ball, but at least still just, locking down whoever he's assigned with, guarding or, covering in that play.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, for me, can the secondary be good enough to help lift this defense beyond what people believe they need? I'm seeing in the chat, and I've continued to see it since we started TLB, people want Trey Hendrickson. They want more on that defensive line, but again, we can't ignore the fact that Brad Holmes has taken a particular interest in this secondary. He's continued to make them the focus of interest with, you think about the free agents that the Lions have picked up over the last few years. The best free agents they've picked up has seemingly been in the secondary for a few years now.
Carlton Davis was a trade, but
a trade. But the money was going there, and that's what I'm saying. And then when you look at the draft picks, they went and they brought in a couple players, and Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, who they both say for both of those players they have high hopes in. It seems like this secondary is going to have to go out there and take a big jump forward this season, even though I thought that they were pretty good, darn good last year.
Yeah, and for the record, I am never gonna rain on a Trey Hendrickson parade.
Yeah,
I don't think it serves any purpose to really talk too much about it right now. I understand that I have my doubts on whether or not Trey Hendrickson plays for the Bengals this year. It doesn't look like they're talking or really even close when it comes to he put that on X, so we know it's true. But I'm not gonna rain on people's parade. If they want it, I would absolutely love it. Obviously, the only question is money. I'm not gonna rain on anybody's parade. But as far as the secondary, obviously I believe in the safeties. I believe in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. They've proven to be, at least last year, they were the best safety tandem in the NFL. Could definitely see that this year. I think DJ Reed is about as close to a lateral move from Carlton Davis as you could possibly hope for. Maybe he's a slight decline from peak apex Carlton Davis of last year, but maybe not. I really like the DJ Reed signing. Mm-hmm. I like some depth pieces. I thought Avonte Maddox and Rock Yassin are certainly viable guys who have been. I mean, Avonte Maddox has been a starting slot corner. Rock Yassin has been a starting outside corner. Amik Robertson can play both. This secondary, I think, is going to be good. And as I said before, I think if Terrion Arnold can take just those slight leaps that I mentioned in a previous segment, not turn into a star or anything, but even just take slight leaps, this secondary can be very good.
Yeah, it definitely can. And I'm seeing people in the chat, it's still going to be about that pass rush. But Brad Holmes has built something that's going to be a tough out this year. It's going to be tough to face this Detroit Lions defense healthy, knock on all of the wood. Because it was tough to face this Detroit Lions team last year, even when they weren't healthy. They were still able to manufacture pressures. They were still able to make life a little bit more uncomfortable. And I do believe getting healthy allows them to play, and with the additions and some internal growth, allows them to play those mobile quarterbacks just that much better. When we talk about the defense as a whole, I do believe that the defensive line, unless they go and they make a trade for Trey Hendrickson, which would be absolutely pick, and 5 flames on the fired up meter, or even bring it back as Zadarius Smith if that's what they choose to do. But if they believe they have what they need right now in-house, because they went and they signed a couple people, re-signed a couple guys on that defensive line that are supposed to play important roles, if they believe that, then it does put a lot more on the secondary to step up. We know what the safeties are going to be, but those cornerbacks are going to still, despite the investment, they still are going to be one of your biggest question marks on that defense behind the edges, because you want to know that this goodness gracious cornerback we just signed,
DJ Reed.
yeah, I'm like sitting here blanking. You want to know that DJ Reed can step up and play a similar role, even if it's not to the same output that a Carlton Davis did. You want to know that he can still step up and be as reliable on the other side of the field. You want to know that Terrion Arnold can take that step forward. You want to know that if Ennis Rakestraw, if he takes that leap, that he can play in those nickel packages that they're projecting. So, that's where it does turn towards my ire towards the linebackers and making sure that they can take that step forward, because I don't know how much more growth Alex Anzalone has.
I mean, probably. I'm not counting on Alex Anzalone growth, but that's okay.
But then there's a Jack Campbell, and after that, you got to hope that there's some guys that can play above their level of draft pick and above their level of expectation.
They paid Derek Barnes in a move that I'm less happy about than some, but he's got an opportunity. The Lions obviously see something in him. He played really well last year until he went down with that injury. He's one that I think they're really counting on to take a leap. Getting Malcolm back healthy will be big. I don't know when that'll be. I forgot exactly when he tore his ACL. I believe it was in the Thanksgiving game, so there's probably some doubt about him starting the season as well. It's interesting. The defense, as long as the offense continues to be great, I think this defense should have enough, barring injury, of course, and we know all too well about that as a Lions fans. And before we move on to, I don't mean to hijack this, but I just want to humor a certain someone in the chat before we get on to everybody's favorite segment, What's Trending. Crazy Clown. Because I called his take for saying that Jake Rogers has Lance Parrish potential, I did use the word stupid at one point. And maybe I shouldn't have done that, but you're the only human on earth who actually believes that. 30 is not 40, and many catchers blossom late. Look at Carson Kelly. I'll give you this. Carson Kelly is having the start he's having to the season with the Cubs is as remarkable can be. And if you guys don't know how well Carson Kelly is playing, look it up right now. You will be shocked. The question is, can Carson Kelly maintain that for an entire year? And do it again and again and again? Because you invoked Lance Parrish. And Lance Parrish was an 8-time All-Star. Lance Parrish is a Tigers legend. And yes, Carson Kelly, good example for now. His OPS is still over 1,000 for now. We'll just see how it turns out for him. But shout out to our old friend Carson Kelly for having a heck of an April and early May with the Chicago Cubs. And if there's any team that is my B team, even though I don't technically have a B team, it is the Cubs. I would be bricked up for a Cubs-Tigers World Series. I'll just say that. And Wrigley Field's awesome.
Hey, that would be dope. We would definitely have some boots on the ground in a situation like that. But you know what? Let's get to everybody's favorite segment. But what friends should we say what up, though, to before so?
We got to hear from Les Stanford and Mark White.
Hey,
Final Sam double dip.
Yes. Les Stanford Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred AWD for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com. And then Mark White, dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 or to make your dreams come true.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan the QR code on your screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet, and you know what? If it doesn't hit, Caesars is so cool, they will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Hey, if you bet on the Celtics last night, guess what? That 20 is right back into your account, so you can do it all over again tonight. Double down on it if you have to. Scan that QR code, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money tonight.
Make some money. Hey, it's calling all Tigers fans. Join us for the White Claw Tigers Watch a Party Tour. Woodward Sports will be hitting 4 of the top bars in Detroit to watch a Tigers game live on the network, and we want you guys to be there too. What better way than to watch a game with the people that support us. Join the Woodward Heavyweights as we hit McShane's Irish Pub, Nemo's Bar, Second Best, and Old Miami. Be part of the fun and see our reactions live on Woodward Sports Network to one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. Join Spencer and Easy on Friday, May 23rd for our first watch party at McShane's Irish Pub in Corktown. It's the White Claw Watch Party brought to you by East Town Distributors and Vin Johnson Law. What up, though, people? We are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's been a show. It's been a good show. And now it's time for everybody's favorite. That is what's trending. Hey, let's get sparking word to what? Mad Packs, Loom, Jars, and hopefully we can add to that rotation a little bit more. Hey, even have a little bit of White Claw.
Hey, let's do it.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
JB, Mr. Fast.
Let's rock.
JB Smooth.
What's going on, fellas? I got some information for you guys. I know the NBA season is slowly, ending for us. That championship will be here very, very soon. But some news for next season coming out. NBC has announced that they will broadcast player intros before the tip-off for next season. I know we were all excited about that, especially with the Pistons and Masons bringing back their intros from the 04 Pistons championship run that they had. So what do you guys think about bringing back player intros now for next season?
Broadcast, I like that. I think when you're talking about the culture, you still to this day have Detroit Pistons fans in droves who understand Detroit basketball, who understand Billups and that. I believe, and then you saw Mason also make his way, and other announcers since then, they've made their way into video games now too, which has been cool. So I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. I like it. Why not?
Oh yeah. No, of course. I'm 100% cool
the
with
fire
that.
going and all that. I used to get fired up when I would see that stuff on the broadcast, man. I used to get so pumped up. My brother and I would be running around our house and everything, man. It would be dope.
That's cool. See, that's what's up right there. Shout out to the NBA. Shout out to the NBA for also announcing their NBA draft lottery sponsor, the new drinks that they have out right now, which, may run all natural 100% ingredients. What do you guys think?
What? What's the name of it?
Whoa.
A very popular P word. How about that? Well, buy two, get one free.
So if I was a vendor of that, I could say I was pushing P, huh?
Yep, you're pushing P out there. Shout out to the NBA for their NBA draft lottery sponsor.
It's a wet drink, huh?
It's a very, very wet drink. It's very, very wop. Very wop
Don't
drink,
be a pussy, JB. Say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. There might be kids watching. You don't know. Well, you don't know. But Kool-Aid, you are our residential JB Bickerstaff, Brad Holmes, bald guy, I would say. What are you doing in this situation if this happens to you?
All right, I'm going to watch this with the hat off, too. Shout out. Wait, did someone just kiss his head?
Yes. The man just kissed the back
now
of
I feel
his
uncomfortable.
head.
Put my hat back on. No way. Absolutely not, dog. Are you kidding me? You kidding? I don't even want somebody, breathing on me, dog, let alone putting their actual lips and saliva on me. No, I feel bad for that guy, man. My bald brother. In solidarity, I feel bad for you, bro.
Come on, Kool-Aid.
Not at all. What are you guys doing? This somebody walks up behind you, what if somebody walks up behind you and just whispers, "I like Riley Green too, Flannel Sam." No, I can't do this. That guy's honestly, his response is a lot more measured than mine would have been. Just being for real.
That's fair.
That's wild. That's wild.
That's fair. Finally, I will end what's trending with this, guys. This is the new sport that is out here right now. Let me know if you would watch it or if you would bet on it as well too. It's called Run It Straight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this called again?
It's called Run It Straight.
Yo, somebody been watching them Oklahoma drills with the moms ducking their kids too much and said, you know what?
And they have
It's just a standing Oklahoma drill.
It is.
Officially made this a sport. You can actually bet on this right now. Run It Straight.
This is
my
crazy,
God.
dog. This is crazy. Like, I wonder how this is scored. Like, I wonder what the rules are. I'm seeing 2 lanes there. Can you have a teammate out there? Like, now I'm very, very intrigued. JB, how did you find this? Where is it at? How do I tap in?
I don't know. It looks like a real underground type of thing right now, but I honestly think this could be a full-time thing that you could honestly bet on and probably make popular at some point in time. Obviously, there's probably going to be some CTE involved in this afterwards, but
it's gotta be,
as
man.
of
Look
right
at Corey
now,
Schlesinger out there in the black shirt.
No pads, no helmets. You just running straight at someone else. Oklahoma drills just hardcore now.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Which is so? If I'm wondering here. Like, obviously, I think Penei Sewell would win a battle like this. I don't know what other players out there. Stewart,
yeah. I mean, Penei would probably beat all of humankind. I mean, not at the same time, but like in terms of you could get anybody out there, you know.
I think we got some dogs, man, who will fare well in this, man. Definitely. But my money would be on what? Isaiah. So who am I missing? You know what? Put Javi Baez out there.
I don't know
New
if you want
hip-hop,
Javi
man.
out there, but I don't know if you want Javi out there, but that's it for what's trending this for today. Let's hop in some mailbag while we got some time.
Let's hop into some mailbag. Is there anybody you want to say what up, though?
Well, I don't know if Justin has the read, but the massage chair house.
Hey, you want to talk
about it? Yeah. You guys looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Well, check out the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest with top brands for massage chairs like Affinity and Osaki. You know it's good because it's Japanese. Located near the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road, experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doctor, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery, your ticket to ultimate relaxation.
What'd you say, that dude, Justin?
Come on, get the chair. It's a dope chair.
Just get the chair. Just get the chair.
Man. Dog, Justin's been over there just getting this thing massages almost your entire body.
Yeah.
Even down to your fingers.
Yeah.
And toes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is insane. I heard that the chair will even like hug you. Like this is insane now. Welcome to the future. Shout out to the chair. But let's get into some of these mailbag questions. I'm seeing Big Con 51. He says, is Michael Jordan going to be on the desk like Kenny and Chuck with this new NBA deal? That will be must-see TV. I don't quite know what the role is going to be, but when I saw that, I was like, goodness gracious, what do you have to do to be able to get that type of pull? I'm glad they did because I think it's going to be great for basketball.
It's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure whether or not Michael Jordan will be good on TV or not, whether or not he can – when you're that gifted, you know what I mean, to make it make sense for us regular folk. We'll see, but it's certainly exciting, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it definitely is exciting. Let me see here. There was another one earlier in the chat that stated, what was a bigger need, and I think it was from Mark. Mark, if you're in the chat, definitely send your question again about it was about Bregman to the Tigers or Hendrickson to the Lions or whatnot. Send that in again because I thought it was intriguing and I want to be able to read that off. But IT Hips with the mailbag, he says, now that we are seeing a wide open Eastern Conference, do you want to see Trajan be aggressive this offseason? And I once wanted this team to be aggressive. Why? To accelerate things. I still wanted the young players here, but to accelerate things. What we saw out of the Pistons this season with just the right amount of vets and internal growth, what we saw the Pistons able to accelerate things. And now after you see them battle against the Knicks, have a lot of success against them in the regular season, and you see what the Knicks are doing, maybe this is a Pistons team that needs more or less augmentation. I will never be against finding the right splash fit here. But in the NBA, you need, what I'm saying, deep rosters, people across the rotation that are going to be able to contribute in addition to what your stars are given. And so for me personally, I am more comfortable with Trajan's approach. He says, if the right deal makes itself available and doesn't gut our core, then that's something that they will definitely consider and potentially pursue. But right now, it is about that internal growth and how they can augment the players that they do believe are budding. That could, like I said, I think there's a couple players that are budding into some stars.
That's why, and I hate to be non-committal on this, but what's the word? Agnostic? I think that there's.
You don't believe.
Sure. I hope that there's multiple ways. I think there's multiple ways that they can build this team into a contender. If the right move comes along, I'm not going to be mad at it, because this East, especially with Jason Tatum's out for next year. There's no way he comes back, getting hurt in the playoffs. Are the Celtics? Could the Pistons even surpass the Celtics in the Eastern Conference? It's all for the taking.
Top 4 or bust.
100%.
100%.
The Bucks are done. Cleveland may be good in the regular season again. We got to give them that. The Knicks, Pacers. I think that those are the 4. The Celtics, though, even without Tatum, if they have a smart off season, maybe they could even be fighting for it. But
I don't know how it works if they get an injury exemption or anything of that nature to be able to go and replenish their roster just a bit. Obviously, you're not going to get a Jason Tatum out there, but they may get some ability to go and add something more to the roster because they do have some really good players there. We already understand that. 6 man a year, who Jaylen Brown is, and then everybody else there. So I do believe that this thing is it's a good question because the Pistons have an opportunity to go out there and really strike gold. But what is striking gold? When you look at what's available, is it really gutting what got you to this point, or is it investing in some players that you have some high hopes in? You have to believe that their belief in Jalen Duren is that he's going to reach at least, even if he doesn't make one, at least all-star level or all-star worthy. We talked about the players around Nikola Jokic, and we believe it is overblown that they say he has no all-star help. We understand that he has players that could have made all-star teams. And that's what you need, though, at the very least, from these young players. I believe you need it from your internal growth. You picked high. These aren't guys that you're hoping like Isaiah Stewart, who you traded back into the first round to get, but it was in the lower end. You're talking about a string of lottery picks in the top 5 of players that they say they got their guys. They said Duren was their guy. They would have picked him as high as 5. Or in the top 5, they stated. They got Ivy, and they knew they were going to have an opportunity to do something later on to be able to trade for him, and that's what they did. When you're going and you give up a first-round draft pick, a lottery pick, and you're saying, kaput to it, you're not sitting back saying, well, we hope that Jalen Duren has a cute career. You're saying we hope he steps into some aspect of stardom, and you need that out of either 2 out of one of these players, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, Ron Holland. You need 2 of those guys to step towards the same precipice that we see out of like Jamal Murray's and out of MPJ's.
Ooh.
They have to.
Yeah, I mean, is there a Jamal Murray on this team? Obviously not the same archetype.
Not the same archetype.
Is there a MP? But yeah, like could I see 4 or 5 of the Pistons players in their young core being either high-end starters or, super role players that elevate in the playoffs? Sure. They can win it that way too, even if Cade is their only star. We'll see. Like I said, there's multiple ways that they can build this team. I'm just happy they're in this position. I'm happy that I can honestly say that there's not a whole lot that they can do this offseason that would make me mad.
There isn't a lot. They already took care of, I believe, the big fish, and that is Cade Cunningham, and we saw him step into, on the last year of his rookie deal, him step into stardom. That's what you want to see. It's to make everyone feel comfortable when we start to see that $40 million, because where we level with stick is this. The criticisms that he had on the rookie deal and doing things that not a lot of other rookies did and averaging the stats he did this year that only players like him and Nikola Jokic did. And if you want to widen it, then you start to get names like LeBron James in there and Kevin Durant as well. But, yeah, there's going to be a different level of scrutiny. He's made the playoffs. He had a decent first series. He battled. People are going to be looking for more next year out of one Cade Cunningham. Yeah. And I believe that he's already shown he's worth that. Sure. I believe he's ahead of schedule, and that obviously is going to be always what stirs the drink. But you want to see Asar Thompson, you want to see Jalen Duren, you want to see Jaden Ivey get healthy, and then take that necessary step towards stardom.
Yeah, and playoff lumps are a thing. Cade took them. Next year is when there's expectations. Next year is when he definitely needs to shoot better from behind the arc in the playoffs. No question about it. His three-point shooting in the playoffs was abysmal. I hope it doesn't happen next time. I don't think it will. Needs to take a little bit better care of the ball. But that's the rite of passage for young NBA stars. You take your playoff lumps. Nobody comes in right away and is a star in the playoffs unless if your name is literally Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and nobody else.
All right, let me see here.
Expectations are a thing, though.
Mark said he put the comment back in the chat. I'm going to try and go back in and read it. There he goes. He says, what do you guys want more? Shout out to Mark. He says, Hendrickson to the Lions, Bregman to the Tigers, Booker to the Pistons, or an elite goalie for the Red Wings.
Can I say this?
Yes.
I can't say what is my number 1, but my number 4 is probably Bregman to the Tigers, honestly.
Yeah.
And this is
that
and I'm not going to be that Tiger fan that's like, Bregman was a bum anyway. He's having a great year with Boston, and he might be a driving force in why they make the playoffs. But in terms of all of those, God, honestly, right now, probably Red Wings goaltender.
Yep. Especially with the other 3 teams, we see they have found some way to get the most out of what they have. We all thought Tigers need a splash. We all thought Lions need an edge. And we probably still think that. We all thought the Pistons needed a secondary star. But we've seen them have unprecedented and unexpected success doing it their way. And that's where it's like, man, you get the Red Wings that goalie? And then you can have 4 teams all percolating in the playoffs. That dude, Justin, how does that sound to you? Which one for you? Is it that goalie for you?
Yeah, it's definitely the goalie. And I don't know how tapped in Flannel has been as he's been gone, but I've been pitching goalie for the past 2 weeks since he's been gone. And he should know who it is because I pitched it to him at the trade deadline too.
Absolutely.
And I'm staying firm on that. This team with a goaltender is a lock to make the playoffs next year, and that's the one player. You add one player to this team. At any position, that is the one position that you can say it will put them in the playoffs.
Do you want me to tell you, like, let the audience know, or do they have to tune into? You know what? Tune into Woodward Wings. Tune into Woodward Wings because we'll be having these discussions quite a bit. And before we pass over to Chase, my bad, I don't mean to hijack.
You're good.
Because I talked about how young players don't come in right away and dominate the playoffs, and Chuck Brewer did bring up Magic Johnson. Everybody knows what he did in Game 6 of that finals. Phenomenal. It was Game 6 when Kareem was out. He played center, had one of the top 5 playoff games in NBA history. Let's just call a spade, and you could even argue number 1. But what I will say, though, is that in round 1, in round 2, he had plenty of stinkers. I'll just say that. And peak apex Kareem was on the team for the entire playoff run, except I think the last game. So that's the thing. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in his first ever playoff series, just dominant. He's the only one. But yeah, Magic obviously in that finals game was insane. Like arguably the greatest playoff game any individual player's ever played.
What about you, Cavassier? Is it get the Red Wings right with that goalie, or is it push one of these other teams over the edge?
I think they can handle the tandem of Mrazek and Talbot next year. I would rather them go grab a solid top 4 defenseman. That or like a really gritty top 6 forward. But I mean, if you're gonna grab a forward, they need to be a top 6 and like arguably first liner with some grittiness, a little bit of sandpaper finish for them, and then or a top 4 defenseman who can just kind of lead the way for the young guys. Just someone who can just show the ropes and kind of just tighten up, be a little bit more of a leader on the back end. But I think what we have with Mrazek and Talbot is enough to get into the playoffs and even maybe win a round and sneak into the second. But I think what we have in front of them is what really needs to improve, whether that be through the forwards or through the defensemen.
And the great news about that is you can do all of it because you have the cap space and you have the assets to do everything you need to do to make this team a playoff team.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think that might be a show. For more on the Red Wings, who we want to see get right, make sure you guys stay tapped in with Woodward Wings. I look forward to Flannel Sam definitely as he's getting back into the saddle. But the content has been great.
Killed it. Our 2 highest viewed shows are the last 2. So shout out to them.
And it's just awesome.
And Spenny's going to be like a rotational piece, by the way, moving forward, because I can tell that he's like, he had that passion, man. I know you knew it working next to him. He's in on this. I'm in on this. Justin certainly is. To the moon.
Hey, next season, boots on the ground for you all. It was big to see Woodward Wings and through Justin be able to get credential for the first playoff game. Grand Rapids, their first AHL game, right, in the playoffs. So that's what I'm talking about. Woodward ringside credential at AEW Live in Detroit. That's what I'm talking about. We're only going to continue to grow from here and be able to offer you all this type of exclusive content and coverage from a unique perspective and scope. So stay tapped in and stay plugged with everything that's going on, especially as we get more and more of these weekend shows and extra content added to Woodward Sports. And I got word yesterday we're going to start to really build out Woodward Baseball too. We flipped the channel.
Yeah.
Nick has been doing really, really, really good. So more content, more shows. It's on the way. I can't wait, man. So shout out to everybody that's holding stuff down, including Fast and Loose and the Chase Lounge. That will be making Fast and Loose will be making its way to the network this week. So JB and I, we're going to work on that and make sure that its place and its presence is right here, right now. And you guys have just that much more for supporting Woodward Sports through all the ups and the downs. So,
hey,
is that a show?
Absolutely.
Let's rock, man. We'll get that chest pass going. We haven't done this in a minute,
It's
bro.
been a sec.
In a baseball jersey, right? Well, I got on a Lions shirt and a Tigers hat. But that's how good Detroit sports is making us feel right now, man. Go ahead and smash that like button, chat family, if you didn't get the opportunity to do so. We're going to break this down. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder and KG. But I don't know if he's Professor X. I don't know if he's Neo. I do know that he's that dude, Justin, holding it down in multiple capacities at the moment. What up, though, Justin?
Hey, I'm just chilling and grilling. Another great day here at Woodward Sports.
You just seem comfortable.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. Just got to do on socials today, holding it down for Travis. Hope he's doing well. Shout out to my boy Trav. And, yeah, just see you on Big D Energy in a couple 48 minutes.
Let's rock, man. Hey, shout out to Gavassi and Chase holding it down, stepping up again for a second day in a row in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's going on? Back again. Here in the saddle, in the studio. So, it's nice being back here. It's more comfortable than the remotes, even though they are fun going to like different places. They're I like the climate controlled environment of the studio. And but other than that, yeah, Fast and Loose episode 10, double digits. We hit 1 o'clock after Big D Energy wraps up. It'll be live for you guys to take a look at. If you just click on my name in the chat with the wrench next to it, it'll take you to my channel, and you guys can check out the Fast and Loose episodes that we have available currently. 1 through 9, and then like I said, number 10 will be dropping. Shout out to Danica Patrick, old driver of the number 10 car, and then shout out my guy JB too, man. I have such a fun time just coming in and hanging out with him every Tuesday. We get to do Fast and Loose, and then like I tell him all the time, my favorite part of the day, like Goodwill Hunting style, is like that little bit in the morning when we're just laughing and goofing off before any of the shows have started in the morning. So
it's the part
Cutting
of it
onions,
that I
Chase?
love.
I just love JB, man. I don't think we can shout him out enough.
That's
JB's
what
the
Sports
man.
MVP,
Love
man.
JB too.
Straight up. And L, I see you in the chat. He says, where can I find a list of all the new WSN channels and shows to follow? We are working on new commercials. We're going to have a graphic as well and a calendar so that you guys will be able to be up to date with everything that's going on here. And you'll be able to see it. It's going to be easy to go. And I'm trying to work on if we can have something that you guys will be able to go and download directly to your phone. And it will add it to your calendar so you guys can stay up to date with all the different shows. I know we're going to be introducing more lives on the weekend too. And I look forward to what Justin's going to bring, leading the charge with the college, basketball, NCAA, college football, because it's going to be a big year. I saw, before we shut it all the way down, JB Smooth, you sent something earlier in the chat as well. Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. Did I see something with the game on a big weekend?
Oh, the game of Thanksgiving weekend will be Michigan versus Ohio State. Week 1 is also a banger as well, too. I believe it's Texas versus Ohio State. So, college football can't get here soon enough. I know myself, Justin, a lot of people from the network are extremely excited about it this season as well, too. But stay tapped into everything that we got going on right now. New shows popping up here and there. We're expanding our catalog a lot more than what we normally talk about. But appreciate everyone tapping in to the show today. My guy Chase recorded Fast and Loose in the morning. Should be out right after Big D Energy. And like you said, too, I just enjoy coming in, hanging out with all you guys. No matter what we talk about, we couldn't not even be talking about sports. We could just be sitting here shooting the shit, and I'll just enjoy that time hanging out with you guys as well, too. KG, get better, man. Hopefully we see you this week. Justin, shout out to Professor X in the chair over here. Flannel, I'm glad to see you back, man, rocking the Riley Green jersey.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of this.
Hopefully you keep it clean, man. That's just all I can say. And stay tapped into heavyweights Armani Networks and Big D Energy later on today.
Clean shave, clean jersey. That's the main man over here. Flannel Sam, veteran squad, veteran of the network, Red Wings correspondent. I appreciate you taking the reins at a time where it's difficult. There's a lot that we do behind the scenes. I said, bro, can you please start this thing with Woodward Wings, and let's see where it goes from there. And to see this thing growing, to see it becoming probably, I didn't know what to expect. But people are coming there. I see the engagement growing, and to see what the team has done as well with that through Justin and Spinney. I'm excited for where Woodward Sports is going, and I appreciate the roles you played.
Oh, yeah, there were definitely some lean days where we were just kind of recording just to get some stuff out. But now it's consistent. Like I said, Spenny and Justin murdered it these last 2 episodes. I really want Spenny to be a part of it moving forward as well. All 3 of us taking it to the moon. And hey, if you guys want, there's probably not going to be a lot of hockey content on the regular shows throughout the off season, except as if they make a move, the draft, etc., etc. But you know where to find us. Woodward Wings.
You already know, and that's the thing. We don't want to leave anybody out in the cold. There's something for everybody at Woodward Sports. It's your boy Brandon Day, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Support my guys. Support the network. And thank you guys for supporting Woodward Sports. Stay tapped in, man. Have a blessed one, you guys.